You're the reason why I am my way. You're the reason why I rip my shirts, why I eat at the buffet. Butter, you got your very own kind of nice. We all live inside a butter world. Oh, butter, gonna eat it by the stick tonight. Gonna eat out this world. Oh, butter, I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream, what I dream about all night. Butter dreaming, I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream, what I dream about all.
Butter! Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a Monday Night Live with Butterfield. We are your
Hey,
hosts. We got
what's
Mr.
going on?
Anderson. We got Mr. Anderson. Anderson B tonight, different from Anderson or Anderson Next or whatever iteration of Anderson that there has ever been. We got Anderson B tonight.
They were just level. They were just being a little bit normal.
A little bit normal
Yeah,
within the carnivore realm. Normal.
exactly. Exactly. It's another Monday night. More than pumped to be here again. Great to see you, Jay. I'll be flying back next Friday.
Let's
And
go.
later on, we're going to be back in the studio, ready to churn out some amazing content. Great stuff coming down the pipeline. But we have a great topic tonight. But before we get started, and before I forget, make sure you like, subscribe, leave us a comment down below if you're watching live. Drop a comment in the live comments. Hey, we have Christopher Shane. Hey guys, nice to see you again. What's up, Christopher?
What's up,
Thanks for
Christopher?
tuning in, man. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and join our free Discord. It's free, and we have a great community of growing meat enthusiasts, people who are open-minded, hold open Zoom meetings on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we just open up the space so you can come hang out, talk. Really, we try to do a lot to engage with people directly. That way we can maximize the value that we're offering. That's why we do the Instagram lives on Mondays. That's why we do all of our YouTube shows live. That's why we have the Discord. That's why we do this, right? Because we want to dismantle the perverse food agenda and along the way help as many humans as possible get healthier, get stronger, because that's the first step towards improving the society, improving humanity, and getting ourselves out of the rut that we're in, that humanity is in. Sickest, the fattest we've ever been, most depressed ever, and food is an actionable way to get us out of that role. So we're going to be talking about why the carnivore diet matters, why we must put aside the dogmatic thinking, the endless search for what is optimal, whatever optimal means for you. Because if you're one of those biohackers, then all roads ultimately lead to like backflipping on your stances, trying this other supplement, this one just came out, NAC drip, NAD plus drip, whatever, get IV vitamins, pump some coffee up your butthole for detox, the endless detoxers. Man, there's like, the rabbit hole is endless if you want to go down that route. But the simplicity and beauty of carnivore diet is that it's simple and it yields results. And we're going to be talking about those results tonight, why that matters, and why the only logical conclusion once you know about this is to advocate for a carnivore diet, even if you don't do a carnivore diet. That's how strongly I believe we should all get behind this, because if the whole world ate steak and eggs for a whole year, all of our problems would be solved. Pharma would go bankrupt, and then once humans are not busy fighting their own bodies, because their bodies are, you're killing your body with the food you eat, we can focus on external things. Getting our house in order, getting our lives in order, making more money, being a successful member of society, contributing to our friends and family, and making impact where it matters, right? because with sickness and disease comes the gravity of illness, right? Which is, once someone is sick and in the hospital, it's not only that person who's suffering, it's their immediate friends and family. It's all the resources and money and electricity and time spent on getting this person up and running again at the hospital. All the plastic that's used, all the polypropylene devices being used, the scrubs, the geez, I don't know, the IV drip, the needles, all of that is plastic, plastic, plastic. The nurses, the doctors, their time, med school, all of their investment that they've put to be part of this machine, all of that would go away. All of that would fall apart if the whole world just ate steak and eggs for a whole year. That's how strongly I believe in this.
Yeah, we gotta start. I love it. I love the idea of eating steak and eggs for a full year. And if we can get like, I don't know, there's gotta be some threshold number of people that it would just break the system. It would just break everything.
Yeah,
Just a massive movement. I mean, it's kind of already happening with carnivore diet, but we gotta make this across the entire earth.
we got a lot of work to do, man. Things are
Yeah.
looking great, but we got a lot of work ahead. And we're
Yeah.
glad to have you along for the process, Christopher, and anyone else who's watching.
Yeah. Christopher says, great man, meal of sausage, bacon, butter, and eggs today. Of course.
Amazing, amazing. I had what I I've been skipping breakfast, but today I woke up particularly hungry, so I had 4 eggs, side of Greek yogurt, delicious, and then I had some chicken for lunch. I'm trying to lean down on my calories,
Mm,
but the best.
summer cut.
Yeah, man, it's tough, but yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher says, why do you think they have used so much lying propaganda to get us to eat seed oil? Correct.
Yeah, yeah, it's you gotta confuse the hell out of us, making us think we have to eat some sort of like oil that comes from plants, which is pretty hard to find outside in nature by itself. Space auctions with a hex symbol. Nice.
Oh, look at that. We have a fellow Mexican in the house. What's up, man?
Traditional docs seems lost. Where can we find doctors that get it? So you actually, yeah, I think I've seen like a couple websites here and there. If you search low carb doctors, although they're not really, I mean, yeah, you're gonna see all kinds of doctors, right? You're gonna see like even psychiatrists or like dietitians. I mean, they kind of show up in that list. Registered nurses, but yeah, I'm guessing you're looking like a family medicine physician, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, just gotta look around.
Yeah, yeah. There's the
Oh,
uh,
Rivero, right?
yeah, Rivero. Rivero, yeah. There's a no. I think the medical industry is definitely being disrupted by telemedicine, right? So there's like virtual consultations with doctors and so on and so forth, which is kind of like what Rivero is trying to go for. And these are going to be like fully licensed, fully by all the standards, medical doctors. Being able to like interpret and read, different blood work and suggest interventions that don't necessarily have to go directly to prescribing things, but rather lifestyle interventions, right? There's certainly a growing body of doctors adopting low carb and carnivore lifestyles and interventions, right? Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Anthony Chafee, we have Dr. Paul Mason, Dr. Ken Berry, and I'm not sure if they're all like medical doctors or whatever, but hey, they have the doctor name, so good enough. if they show up wearing scrubs in their videos, we should get some scrubs ourselves via
Yeah,
Dr. Butter and Dr. Butter.
Dr. Butter and Dr. Butter, butter and butter. Christopher says margarine rebranding as plant-based butter. It's so awful. Yeah, that's a good point, right? It's just rebranding the same like vegetable oil into plant-based butter. Oh man, it is. It
Disgusting.
is quite. Quite astonishing.
Preposterous.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
Jake, can you
let's.
drop the Discord link?
I did. I did.
You did? Okay,
I
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome.
I have the
Fantastic.
Discord window up so I can see him. He just joined.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Our fellow Hexican, go join our free Discord too. Let's talk all things crypto.
All right. So, calf races, by the way, to all our fellow Discord members and soon to be Discord members, we're doing calf races for the month of June. Here's the Discord link. Join. But yeah, build stronger calves. Do as many calves as you can. Body weight, you can do it on a like staircase or on a ledge or on the ground. If you have a floor where you are, you can do calf raises. Is there a
Yeah.
floor in your house?
And if you have legs, yeah. If you got
And
calves,
and
you can
if you
do
have,
calf races. Body weight calf races.
yes. All right, and this is the leaderboard as of today. I am leading, of course, because why not? With 1,600, which is not bad, I
Damn, you're
guess.
crushing it, man. That's almost like a bit over 100 per day.
Yeah, a little bit of 100 per day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've tried to do at least more than 100, but there's been at the beginning there was like a couple of days there, like there were like 50, 60. But Mr. Anderson, AB Butterfield, 700. I think you got more than that. You definitely have more than that.
Yeah, I need to log my points.
Yeah, you need to log the points. Yes. Lady Dolan, she was a leader last month. She got number one last month. Uh, doesn't seem like half races is that exciting. But for me, for us, for dudes, getting bigger calves is what matters. All right. Um, let me just share this now. All right.
Yeah, why carnivore diet matters.
Why carnivore diet matters. Wait, did I have some? That was a quote from last week when we were talking about raw milk.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway,
You also had step counts.
oh, it says step counts. Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh man.
easy fix. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But Jay, can you zoom in like a lot more so that we can read? Oh, you can just we can keep it like that, I guess. Yeah, so that the text is legible.
Does this work?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, that we want to talk about why carnivore matters, and obviously it's more than just weight loss. People who come in for just the weight loss will, I don't know, sometimes be happy, sometimes not be happy because all they care about is the number on the scale. However, the real sticking power on the carnivore diet is health.
Exactly.
We
Wait, Jay, we should start with our stories first.
Yeah, our stories. All right, up close and personal.
Up close. Let's get real, man.
Let's
I
get
brought my
real.
tissue.
You ready for some tears?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, all right. So yeah. So okay. I guess I can go first. So carnivore. I've been carnivore for 5 years. Um, I kind of was introduced to it via Dr. Sean Baker when he showed up on the Joe Rogan podcast. Uh, Before that, I was like on like a fitness journey. I was able to have lost weight, counting calories, actually just traditional, not restricting anything, just eating anything, but counting calories. Um, Dropped the weight, then moved on to the keto diet. Actually felt pretty good. Did all sorts of fasts. That was good too. But then, yeah, so learned about carnivore. First, I was very skeptical about it, but it was like 3 months later, 4 months later. From January through April to April. In April, I was like, giving it a shot. Mostly because I was like always hungry. Even well, specifically after dieting down, I was very hungry, but I was very hard to stay lean. Um, and actually put on more muscle. Been working out for years, and it was actually it's been pretty hard for me to put on muscle, which actually I'm pretty surprised to where I am at these days. Doesn't look like much, but it feels like a lot. Weighing 190 pounds right now. Before it was like 170 or so. But the interesting thing is like I was fat at 180, 185, almost 190. I was like visibly like no shoulders, super soft stomach. It's just like it's incredible how at the same weight that I am right now, I just look like a different person, um, just by how soft I looked or fat. Um, but yeah, like the real sticking power for me with carnivore diet was, you know, um, when I had my sinuses checked. So before I started, it wasn't on purpose. Before I started the carnivore, I had seen like the ear, nose, throat doctor, and they had like this little microscope that they kind of send up your nose, and then they saw that I had polyps. Polyps like this little small things that grow like inside, making it really hard to breathe and whatever whatnot. I used to have them when I was a kid, so I had a surgery to have them removed, um, and I thought they were gone forever. But then 10 years later, yeah, roughly 10 years later, here I am at the doctor again, having my nostrils checked, and the doctor was like, "Hey, yeah, so they're back. So here's some, just wash your nose every day. Here's some steroids too, nasal steroids, whatever you call it, and that's your treatment. Um, they never go away. Maybe further down the line, you get another surgery." I was like, yeah, whatever. Kind of follow the treatment for like 3 to 5 days, and then I stopped doing that. Wash. It's just such a pain to be constantly washing your nose and spraying up stuff up your nose. It's just not something I've never been really good at. Sticking to a m- medicine schedule. I can stick to a food schedule. Um, but anyway, several months later, probably like 6 months later, we lost Mr. Anderson. Bored him out. Uh, like several months later, I think it was 6 to 9 months later, I went back to the doctor, ear, nose, throat doctor. They poked my nose again, and they poked my nose, and they spent like quite an uncomfortable amount of time up there on my nose, trying to find the polyps that they thought they saw last time, but they weren't there. Um, it just so happened I literally just changed my diet, right? Um, that spoke volumes to myself. The doctor thought it was, oh yeah, I guess the treatment worked, and that was it. He just called, that was the end. Nothing more, nothing less. And I obviously at the moment I didn't make the connection either. It wasn't like, oh, witness the power of carnivore, dear doctor. I wasn't like that. Welcome back, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, sorry, shitty Wi-Fi, man. I don't know what happened. You're trying to bring us down.
Yes, yes. Internet lords don't want to hear the carnivore testimony. Carnivore
Yeah.
testimony.
Okay.
Uh
Did you go over like how the polyps were gone?
yes, yes. I was actually
Even though you didn't take the meds because you've always been lazy and you never take the meds, you never do what people tell you to do.
exactly. I never do whatever the doctor ever prescribed to do ever. It's been a constant fight between me and my family, my brother, Mr. Anderson, telling me take obviously in the past life.
Do
Uh
your sinus washes. Take your antihistamines before bed. take the
exactly.
antibiotics, whatever. Did you say
The
like,
yeah,
yeah, so basically,
the spray nasal steroids, I think he called them. I had it like for like 3 to 5 days. I followed it and then I just like stopped. But yeah, um, but yeah, like several months later, back to the office. They probed my nose for several minutes. They were looking and looking and looking, nothing. So it's just no polyps. Um, and the doctor kind of just like wrote it off. Oh, I guess the treatment worked, which is that that's not, treatment is not a cure, right? But I guess he had nothing else to say, and I obviously at the
man,
moment, and I at the moment didn't make the connection either. I wasn't like, oh, um, I don't understand these either, right? I wasn't like, oh, doctor, be enlightened by the power of the carnivore diet. Anderson, you're still there? It says audio only, so you maybe
still
will
here. Can
speak.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I'm not here. I'm here. Dude, my wife is just acting up. I'm going on my cellular data. Maybe that'll be more reliable.
Oh man, cell data.
Jay,
But
can you
yeah,
watch me?
yeah, I can see you now. Yes, I can
Yeah,
hear
can you
you
hear
and I
me?
can see you.
Awesome.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes. But yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. So it wasn't. I don't know. And at some point later, I made the connection that it was the diet that's the only thing that changed. And they were pretty sure they found polyps there, right? So um, I kind of said, hey, wait, can food kind of fix all this stuff that people is just like unresolved? I know diabetes was like a new thing that can finally be reversed. Before I thought diabetes was just like forever, but then people who go on the keto diet are actually able to reverse the diabetes, and then some people even go bold as to state that it's been cured. Right? Obviously, if you hop into the old habits, right, you go back to the old diet, it's going to come back because that's what got you there in the first place. Doesn't mean that you cure yourself and then now you go back to making the mess that you make. Welcome back, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you.
All right. Yeah. Before I get cut off again, long story short, we both grew up with a host of respiratory illnesses and issues. Literally, like going to the doctor on a monthly basis was just common occurrence. You guys were my friends. I would actually enjoy look forward to going to the doctor because the guys they were cool guys and they'd give me even lollipops sometimes. But other than the respiratory issues, I also grew up with just like a host of uh, digestive issues. So on both ends, I was always like suffering. Might have had like some sort of like IBS. I don't know. Being born and raised outside of the U.S., we don't really have those terms around here. It's just that's in the U.S. But yeah, lots of
Yeah.
issues. And then on top of that, always struggled with obesity and just being like a fat kid. I got put on with my first nutritionist in second grade, portion controlled and everything. It worked, but then it was I was always a hungry fat kid. Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Yes.
Okay, okay. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, it's been a issue my whole life. Man, you gotta tell me if you can't hear me.
Why
It's been
do
an issue my whole life, and then it wasn't really till I found carnivore where everything just kind of like
well, now you're getting cut off. Oh, we're losing Mr. Anderson. No. I guess you cannot label like your videos why carnivore matters these days and then go live and expect things to go smoothly. We're going to get you back, Mr. Anderson. Yeah, so yeah, my brother was a little bit, yeah, he struggled with weight issues before, for, yeah, for a long period of his life, pretty much his entire
I'm
life, you could say.
here again.
I
Dude,
can,
I'm sorry, man. This is completely unbearable, bro.
yeah, yeah, it's why it's because we have the title name, Why Carnivore Matters.
Yeah, man. It's easier to hijack the Salvadorian Wi-Fi than it is over there. Shout out Verizon for being reliable, man. Not sponsored, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Between all the emotional food addiction, whatever, carnivore really just the way I look at it is just it's the best system for me to manage all these things. Um, I know when I'm the the strictest carnivore I can be, I feel the best, and I'm someone who, I'm driven by many of my things I find pleasurable. So I'm not always like the strictest, is what I mean. But I tend to find that whenever I deviate, I tend to do worse. Um,
Mm.
and and even like start feeling like sick again. Like I can really tell after like having some cake or some sugary stuff. Just like I'll have a sore throat the next morning. Like it's just that straightforward. If I have a salad, I'll be bloated. And I did keto for many years. I was eating bucket loads of salad because I was always a hungry person, and oh, eat all the greens you want. So I'd have bucket loads of kale, and man, I'd be in pain later. But then I would reason that, hey, this is my body cleaning itself. Completely ridiculous, just ridiculous. Like so stupid, man. I hate it.
Well, technically, it is kind of like getting rid of all what you just put in. So it is kind of cleaning itself from what you just
Yeah,
put
man.
in.
I mean, yeah, with all the bloat and the gas. Oh my God. Jay knows I've always been a gassy man. When I'm carnivore, that's not really the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Agreed.
Yeah. But long story short, that's our story in a nutshell. Also, our last name is actually Butter. So this mission has been bestowed upon us. And it took, roughly a bit over 2 decades for us to like realize this. And it is our mission.
Yeah, maybe we should just like start a farm, butter farm, right? That's it. Let's just put
Yeah.
our effort behind that. But but yes.
Yeah. Now let's go talk about some of the healing stories, success stories that we've had on our podcast on this platform with some marvelous guests.
Yeah,
First
so
up,
yeah, so podcasts with guests. So here's a list of all the guests we've been with, on our podcast, and each person has had like a positive experience with carnivore or animal-based food, or so food coming from animals, right? This is a specific list, uh, you know, 15 videos on our YouTube page. Yeah, we'll run you through some of these, but this is why carnivore matters. Um, yeah, might as well just start with Alex. Alex, animal
yeah,
based. So yeah, she was a vegan. Um, she was vegan for pretty much a long time, and then she started having. She had a grand mal seizure, right?
that's the one. Yeah,
Grand mal seizure, and she felt like she almost died. And for whatever reason, she says that after her seizure, she just craved milk and ribeyes. Those are the only two foods that she craved.
yeah,
And she was a vegan.
yeah. It's crazy because it was a big episode. So she had been having the seizures, but then she had like the big one where like I think you like kind of like lose consciousness and like you're on the floor, right? And like it's not, it's a horrible, scary thing, like event for you for happiness, like traumatizing event. I think you end up hospitalized. But yeah, she woke up and then she knew she needed steak and milk um, and she never looked back. Pretty shocking, and we're very glad she listened to her intuition.
Yes. Yeah. And now obviously, she's carnivore, animal based, having a lot of meat, um, a lot of milk too. Uh, you
Yeah,
know, doing a lot of bodybuilding too. She's pretty strong on the weights.
yeah.
So
Prepping for a competition at some point.
yeah, that's true. She did say she was preparing for a competition. So yeah, it's um it's a complete 180, right, in terms of like food preferences and food and life quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we had Eric, No Carbs Nation. Oh my
Eric.
God, such a touching story. Such a great guy, man. Everyone should go follow No Carbs Nation on Twitter and Instagram, I believe. Yeah, and YouTube as well. He's in all those platforms. And he told us his story, man. Type 2 diabetes, GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disorder, Barrett's esophagus. I think he had a couple other things not listed there. Like I think he said he had like neuropathy,
Yeah.
um, right? Things like that. He couldn't feel like the sides of his legs. So really, really a lot of damage. And I think he even had like a scare, a live scare where I'm not sure. I forget the details, but he had something short of like a heart attack, where he had to go to the hospital or something like that. If not like a proper one. Um, and then he switched to eating ground beef, eggs, cheese, and that's it. And then he fixed his whole life, man. And now he looks great. He's strongest than he's ever been. Well, maybe not the strongest he's ever been, but because he used to be a pretty big, strong guy before. Now he's still a big, strong guy, but noticeably like many, many, many pounds lighter.
Much lighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
terrific guy, terrific guy. Carnivore B Mills, of course, healing his digestive issues, IBS, and skin issues, eczema, all with the diet. He goes into some detail about how certain plant foods will trigger like the skin flare-ups. Um, but yeah, changed his life. Also, someone who struggled with weight, kind of similar story to me. And now he's putting in the work to tell others. I guess now he calls himself Primal Mills,
Yeah.
or he might go by another name. Um, but yeah, what's next? Kelsey.
Yeah. No reason to be vegan. Yeah, she was vegan there for a little bit, right? Um,
Yeah, it was short lasting period of veganism, but life changing.
yeah, life changing. And her mission is to pretty much dispel all the vegan propaganda and kind of like attack all the vegan talking points. And yeah, her Instagram page is pretty awesome because pretty much she has covered at this point every talking point that there is. That's for the the vegetable agenda, whatever.
The vegetable agenda. Yeah, all the human vegetables, whatever they're repeating.
Yeah, yeah, and no, it's she's great.
Yeah. Next, critical carnivore. I forget the specific issues he healed, but he had a whole host of issues,
Mm,
um, and then even some adverse reactions to the irreversible medical procedure that seemed to be alleviated and helped by going on a carnivore diet.
mm.
Definitely another great episode. All of these are great episodes. Francesca from Francesca's Dawn Farm, she's a vegan turned farmer. She discovered the healing powers of meat. Amazing. Coach
Yeah,
Jen, I think we mentioned her in the IG Q&A. terrific person, using carnivore to treat her epilepsy, carnivore and keto diets, right?
Yeah.
I think she mentioned other issues, but she helps women now use dietary interventions to heal things like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and other like hormonal issues.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she definitely talks a lot about PCOS.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandy, a fellow Discord member, pretty young guy, kind of amazed by his knowledge about the carnivore, about all the benefits of eating animal foods, and his knowledge on like how to address all the vegan talking points, right? Because pretty much when you grow up, that's all kind of you hear in school growing up. So I was pretty surprised by him. But yeah, definitely a lot of health benefits. Not someone who had anything like truly severe or too crazy, but overall, yeah, just definitely a lot of health benefits that he saw. Um,
Yeah, I think the next one was Rory.
Rory's Kitchen.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true.
now called Rory Bland. Yeah, people change their name. It's funny. Rory Bland, using a GAPS diet. I think he had a whole host of digestive issues and skin issues. Former vegan as well, turned to a carnivore GAPS diet. So he really speaks about the importance of making meat broths and bone broths, and how those would sit better with him than just eating like charred steaks or like fully cooked and browned meats. Um, amazing conversation. Definitely a great story. We learned a lot on that one. We learned a lot in all of these episodes, but we learned a lot that went just beyond carnivore on this one. Again,
Yeah.
just speaks to the greatness of
Yeah,
animal
yeah.
food.
And Rory, he has been plant based. He had been plant based pretty much for a very long period of his life. Again, I kind of forget the specific details, but the majority of his life was plant based. So he was vegan, and it just his quality of life just wasn't there. So he was forced into a carnivore diet, just searching for just a more livable life. Yeah, because he could, fruits or nuts would just not sit well with him. Um,
Yeah, it was just being told to vegan harder.
yeah, yeah. Oh, carnivore Kimberly, she's great. She actually talks about doing pregnancy on carnivore, so that's you know also pretty cool. And she raises her own goats. Very, very cool.
Yeah, she's featured on the Rivero website, on the carnivore.diet website.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, for her healing testimony. Which the details escape me right now, but Josh Ketry, serious symptoms from multiple sclerosis, anxiety free. Also, he talks about like he has his own community, people he's built online. Also writes like articles on health and finance and really all the issues that are prevalent in the world today. But multiple sclerosis, man, that's a serious one. That's a scary one, and that is an autoimmune disorder. And he talks about how he was experiencing it, and he basically like stopped it with a carnivore diet, and he's had multiple other friends do the same, multiple sclerosis, just through diet alone. So there's definitely something there, and when it comes to multiple sclerosis, I believe it's an autoimmune disease that attacks like the central nervous system or something like that.
Mm.
That eventually makes it hard for people to move, makes it painful. I think they even like lose motion, like end up in wheelchairs and things like that. Like that's how bad it can get. Like that's a scary, scary condition to have. Like eczema and acne. Like yeah, you lose your confidence because you're sprouting. But man, like getting on a wheelchair, bro, that's terrifying, man. Like being
Yeah.
restricted like that, and then he was able to put that all to rest through his diet. So definitely amazing person, amazing episode, and amazing community, and just an amazing healing story as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy, how MS, everyone has heard of the multiple sclerosis and it's a terrible disease, but you never hear about someone recovering from that. And that's just another thing that nips it in the bud, or like kind of puts it puts it so obviously clear that animal foods are here for us humans.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think that's a good place. So those are just some of the stories we've compiled on our end, but it's by no means an exhaustive list. I mean, the greatest resource for success stories is the carnivore.diet website. So this is, I guess, formerly called Rivero, formerly called Meat Health. No, sorry, Meat RX.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, it's interesting. It is called
oh,
Rivero right now. Um, it should be still be called Rivero, but the testimonies, they seem to live under the, so it's not that link, under the carnivore
yeah,
diet. You know.
yeah. Kelly Hogan, very popular figure in the space.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's interesting, right? Before, like, this would take you to their success stories. So I'm trying to get back there, but we already have a tab over here. See testimonials. This is probably the link, or maybe not. But yeah, the current site where they all exist is, yeah, the carnivore.diet, success stories.
Yeah, and that's a great resource to share with anyone. I spoke to a few like middle-aged men, and they were like, "Oh my God," and everything. I'm gonna stop eating protein and eat more bread because my doctor said I should cut down on the red meat. And I just sent them this website. As a matter of fact, I found testimonies from people who had, healed gout, healed from gout. If that is something you heal from, I mean, you get gout flare-ups because of the way you insult your body with the food. But of course, you can undo that with the right nutrition, right? And cutting out nutrient-dense animal foods is never the answer. So I just straight up sent them one of these testimonies to the person, because if I stand there and I try to explain, like, actually gout is caused by the buildup of uric acid and purines and fructose and carbs and alcohol, you lost them because when you're trying to explain something to someone and you just see like the lights turn out in their eyes and they're like, well, you're young, so it works for you. I'm like, yo, here's like a middle-aged dude who was on the brink of dying, and he changed his life just by eating steak. Like, get that on a movie, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Why is it like all these stories, man? So right now I just search for gout and we get this. April 24th. So last month, barely, like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
There you go.
there's
Gene.
years and years of stories here.
Yeah. Mike, John, Daniel. Yeah.
Eric, asthma, obesity, focus issues, and gout. Roseanne treats depression, bloating, gout, inflammation. Eric treats, oh, I already read that one. So it's a great resource. And again, the point we want to highlight here is why the carnivore diet matters. And that's because it's getting people healthier. It works. It gives results. And these are issues and issues that these people dealt with for decades, sometimes decades. All that time and money wasted when they could have been eating steak all along.
Yeah, and steak fixes it. What?
Yeah, like and people debate: did it really fix it? Did it put it in remission? Did it heal it? Did it revert it? Listen, whichever word you want to use, if when you start eating a certain way, those issues go away, and then you're like, oh, but it's so restrictive, like you can't eat bread. But it's like, but what if like the junk food that you were eating before, like what if that was causing it, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, there's like some people who say, oh, you never really put it in remission because the second you have this, it's gonna come back. Well, then, hey, maybe that is causing it, yo. Like, maybe we should listen. We should look at these people and take that as a canary in the coal mine kind of story, and just realize that maybe all of these foods that we're being told are healthy are not healthy, and that may be for many reasons. That may be because plants are trying to kill us, or that might be because the heavy use of agrochemicals in them, or that might be because of the GMO strains, whatever. This works, right? We don't need to understand why it works or how it works. We just need to understand that it works, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to argue over the fundamentals. We should take an engineering approach when it comes to these health issues and just realize, like, hey, this can only help, right? I mean, yeah, look at that list on the right side: arthritis and joint health, autoimmune health, cardiovascular health, diabetes and blood sugar, mental health, skin health, weight loss, and other success stories. I think one of the crazy stories I read I saw on the Sean Baker podcast and website, and this huge library he's put together, is someone with Tourette's who basically like got rid of their Tourette's doing a carnivore diet.
Mm.
It's going to take decades before we can explain that. I mean, we can have some working theories, and that is, the brain is super fatty tissue. It needs cholesterol. So, if you're cholesterol deficient, you're not eating like foods rich in saturated fats, animal fats, which are not only saturated, by the way, but saturated fats, which promote production of cholesterol. Cholesterol essential for all tissues and hormones and brain and nerve health. It just makes sense. All of these things start working together, right? Once you start eating a species appropriate diet. Kicking Tourette syndrome to the curb.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, this is a video that's on his YouTube channel. I just searched for it on Rivero, and I got a different result. So it's someone else, Taylor, this guy.
Wait, that's
You
not
know,
Taylor? Oh,
yeah. So you have a dude, Taylor, improving his health, and then you also have, I guess you could have two testimonies. Then Maddie.
oh, that's funny. Hey, Dr. Sean Baker needs some help with his website. Um,
Yeah, it must be something that's not tagged. It doesn't have like the tag for it.
yeah. But anyhow, the point is to stress, like, you can start to see this is a real threat. This is not just a fad. And even if you don't do a carnivore diet, if you think that you really need the dietary carbs, you don't. But if you want them, that's cool. I mean, I'm not going to tell you you can't have this, you can't have that. You're a grown adult. Make your own decisions. I'm here to tell you, like, yo, look at this. This is crazy, man. This
Yeah,
is crazy.
100%. It's never just like one thing, right? It's like people have this host of problems. So it's so like if you take this person to a doctor, the doctor would be like, okay, IBS, here's the list of medications. Anemia, here's another list of medications. Joint pain, here's another list. Migraines, anxiety, right? While you flip over to the carnivore, it's just like, here is one piece of meat, have as much as you want as you can per day, just this one piece of meat. Have some eggs too if you like them. Actually, have any cut of meat, chicken, pork, whatever. Pretty easy. Go to the grocery store. There's one section dedicated for this. Pick for whatever you like from there. Eat it, and then all of these, you know, all these different health categories across multiple different diseases, Guillain-Barre syndrome, IBS, gastritis, anxiety, SIBO, MS, MS again, right? Wiped out. All of this wiped out. So,
Oh, Rory's there.
oh,
You
Rory's
see,
journey.
you see, we're in it, man.
Yeah.
Skin problems, gut health, aches.
Yeah, there he is. Shout out to Rory. Rory's Kitchen. No, pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. Yeah, he was plant-based. Um
Oh my god.
uh but yeah, Rory, pretty cool guy. So
Ex-vegan spills the. That's funny.
ex-vegan what?
Spills the beans.
Oh,
That's
ex-vegan spills the bean. Yes. Yeah, he quite literally makes them go away. Yeah. So um
So yeah, man. I mean, these are real stories from real people who suffered, man. They suffered, and none of us have to suffer.
yeah.
Certainly not stack like 5 pills together to address every single one of these things, and then they create other problems that then will have to be fixed. With the 6th pill, it's like, dude, once you see this all the time, especially like take a middle-aged man. He likes to drink, he eats the carbs, never really cared about his health. Starts putting on weight year after year after year till it becomes an issue. Now they have high blood pressure. They have insulin resistance. They have a big belly. So the doctor will prescribe some statins, some medication for, high blood pressure, and then maybe some like painkillers because now their bones hurt, their joints ache, and then go another 5-10 years, their situation hasn't improved. Now they're gonna have other issues. Now suddenly it's like the liver is not working, so now they need pills for the liver, and then it's the kidneys, and then they need pills for the kidneys, and all along the doctor's repeatedly telling you need to cut out the red meat, you need to eat more fibrous fruits and vegetables, and you need to eat protein, chicken breast and seafood. Which again, seafood, chicken breast, whatever, awesome. It comes from an animal. Animal's good. But what are you stopping to eat when you listen to their advice? It's all the red meat and all the eggs. The most nutrient-dense foods known to humankind. Some of the most delicious too. You're cutting out the butter. You're being told to use olive oil that's been cut with the vegetable seed oils. And also you go to the supermarket and you see the canola oil bottle and it says heart healthy. And you buy it because it's what you've been told all along. See the cereals, the Cheerios, fiber, heart healthy. You buy it. You're being sold a product that is fake. It's fantasy. This, totally different story. It works. We
Yeah.
can hypothesize why it works. There's a lot of compelling evidence as to why it works and why we need it. Really, you start realizing that the body is not an isolated system, or organs are not isolated systems. It all works together. And it all starts with what you put in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we're never make the connection between food and health. It's always like, oh, eat whatever you want. Sure, include some moderation, be moderated. A little bit of this, a little bit of this. But then obviously people can't moderate themselves. They gain weight over time, every year. more they get heavier, heavier, heavier. Every year, more diabetes develops more in a person. Um, so obviously, this whole moderate it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah. For most people, I mean, sure, some people, I know people who they just don't have an appetite, man. They just don't eat.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
those
not
people
me.
baffle me.
Yeah, that's not me. If you're anything like me, anything like us, then you understand. And dude, you know, like another thing that grinds my gears is, dude, look at like Gina, manages IBS, anemia, joint pain, migraines, anxiety, and mood. And then, you know, she manages all of this, her life improves drastically, and then someone has the balls to come and tell her, oh, you did this with the carnivore diet, you were only eating meat. Now you're at a risk of heart disease because your cholesterol went up. So you need to listen to your doctor and do what we preach. You should. It's good that you eat meat, but eat it on occasion. Don't eat it every day, and you're missing out on fiber. It's like, come on, really,
Yeah,
really?
it's like you're stuck. There's no winning situation. Either you're getting diseased or you're getting diseased. There's no being healthy.
Yeah,
Hey,
your whole life improved.
yeah, your whole life improved. Getting rid of IBS, joint pain, migraines, anxiety, anemia, all of this. You're a 52-year-old, um, right? So obviously you've been dealing this for decades, and then all of this gets wiped out. Clean, good health, but then simultaneously you just increased your risk of dying of a new disease. It's a
Ridiculous. Nature's not paradoxical, and our bodies know how to heal themselves if you give them the right raw materials. And the best raw materials we can give them are animal foods, red meat and eggs, mainly, right?
yes.
And it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't stand to. It's just not logical that you would inadvertently put yourself at a worse position because of some blood markers. Like if you thing is, it does take a leap of faith if you accept that conventional knowledge has it wrong with the advice that they're giving, and you see for yourself that you're getting healthier eating only red meat and everything. Like everything you're being told goes out the window. It goes out the window. Like, suddenly, oh, your LDL cholesterol is sky high. But that doesn't mean anything anymore because you just saw for yourself that they were wrong all along. Of course, there's better markers we can look at. There's other markers, triglycerides, HDL ratios, so on and so forth. And I'm not saying that these quantitative things are not useful, but we also have to be aware that we just don't have the answers to everything. And then there's going to be people who are like, oh, yeah, it fixes all these things, but my testosterone markers are now lower. Oh, my thyroid markers are now lower. And then you have people getting off thyroid medication on a carnivore diet. So which is it? Are they damaging their thyroid doing the carnivore diet, but they're getting off the meds for thyroid with the carnivore diet? So they're like doing both at the same time? Come on, man. And that's why they need to add fruits to their diet. That's why like this and that. Like, dude, it just doesn't make sense. And there's so many people focused on arguing the wrong things that the real concern is that this is going to be discredited and dismissed by people because at its core it's a health first elimination diet protocol and nothing else. You get healthy to lose the weight.
Yeah. You get healthy and then you lose the weight.
Yeah, and this is why we have to be very careful about the language we use. When we talk about carnivore diet specifically, we need to talk about this, we talk
Yeah.
about this. And again, not everyone has to do the carnivore diet, but everyone, when you look at this, like you should look at it like, let's take this for example, okay? there's a popular figure, formerly known as Carnivore MD. Not anymore, luckily, in my opinion. You look at the diet that he preaches. It's organ meats. What is it? Organ meats, raw dairy, fruits, and that's it, right? Yeah, fruits, organs, meats, raw dairy. I'm getting stuck. But anyhow, you look at that diet: high in organs, high in fruits, high in meat. That is not the same as the carnivore diet. That does not solve the same issues that the carnivore diet does. If you're having a diet high in fruit, high in organs, and high in meat, that's a high FODMAP diet. A high FODMAP diet is not a diet that's going to help your digestive issues. That's a diet high in purines. High in purines. Organ meats are some of the highest foods in purines. Fruits, high in fructose. Okay, so now you're tackling two things that cause high uric acid: fruits and organs and meat. That's a diet high in uric acid. That's not going to fix gout, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to fix your digestive issues. That's not going to fix gout. And if you're someone that struggles with sweet addictions and you're being told to drink maple syrup in your raw milk, that's not going to help your insulin resistance either. Two completely separate things. However, if that version of a diet is something that you can sustain in the longer term and adhere to your goals and see the benefits, then that is amazing. And I'm not saying that that does not work for some people, right? But what I am trying to say is that they're two separate things, and it does not solve the same issues as a carnivore diet does. I could have a diet like that, high in purines, high in fructose. I might gain some weight because of my behavioral tendencies, but I'm not going to have like a whole host of issues like other people will, because I don't have those health problems. However, I respect that other people need a carnivore diet and they don't need like that animal-based Saladino version. Just as an example, I'm not trying to attack Paul. He's communicated great information. We don't agree with everything he says. Well, that's okay. That's why we're doing this. And if you're watching, we hope you understand and align yourself with the truth and the differences of what works and what's not going to work. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, we're past the hour mark. I could talk on forever about this, but I think that's a good place to end. I mean, they're two separate diets, and really, again, that's why carnivore diet matters, right? Because it's producing all these results. This is not being done by fruit. This is not being done by organs. Organs completely unnecessary, by the way.
Agreed.
This is being done by, in most cases, strict red meat, water, and salt. But even in most cases, that's not necessary. Like, you can do beef, bacon, butter, eggs, and other variations, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the solution is incredibly simple that it actually unnerves people. It makes them nervous. It's like I surely need my supplements, right? You can have some, but if you try to go without them, you'll see similar results. So, what does that tell you?
Exactly.
So, yeah, this obviously, this goes beyond weight loss. People will hop on it because of weight loss, but this goes beyond. It's about regaining health. It's creating a health food connection, a connection between the food that you eat and your health. It's about understanding how animal foods are actually meant for humans. We have to look at that and try to understand that as humans have to uh, we have to learn something from this, right? I can tell you what I've learned, but I want people to think about what it means that our health improves when we eat animals. There's a lesson in there, and I feel like everyone needs to like internalize that and understand that because it's very deep. Um, so yeah, it's about appreciating nature, right? Because animals come from nature. What are
Yeah.
these other modern foods, processed foods? The chips, all the flowers, everything in the middle aisles that that comes in a little box. nicely packaged, that sits on a shelf for months on end. I mean, doesn't it's certainly not conducive, man-made health food, not a healthy food,
Yeah,
and it's pretty simple. Uh,
made by the man in order to replace what was already there before.
yeah, man created problems where there were none. That that kind of applies to every situation, every aspect of life. In this scenario, we're talking about food. So yeah, yeah, we're at the top of the hour, Anderson. I think we covered a lot of good points. Um, Success stories. We invite people. I think we gotta reach out to Christopher Shame. Have him bring him on. Have him share his story because we want to share people's stories. We want to kind of help the movement, and it's people's stories that really drives the needle. Because that's what people listen to.
Yeah, yeah. I want people to get healthier and defund pharma. I really want that. Let's focus on other things. Let's build great cathedrals again. Let's do
Yes.
awesome, cool human stuff, man.
Yes. Agreed.
Let's bring heaven on earth.
As above, so below. We'll bring it
Exactly,
here.
man.
Oh, all right. So with that said, um, I'm gonna give some parting words, and then Anderson, you can take us out. But yeah, I just want to say, hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you try the carnivore diet, or you keep doing the carnivore diet, or you include more animal foods, and you don't have any diseases or any of the modern diseases, and that you have a happy, healthy life. So yeah, wishing you a lot of happiness and health, and a lot of nutrients, and a nutrient dense era.
Yeah, yeah. Educate yourselves, guys. Again, I started this by saying the only logical conclusion once you learn about the carnivore diet is to advocate for a carnivore diet, even if you don't do it yourself. It's okay to be a hypocrite then, the only instance, because you might actually help someone get healthier. And share the resource, share the stories, share your story, become a story in the first place, so we can inspire others. A defund pharma. All right. That's a good place to end. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
See ya.
you. Catch you all next time.